Welcome to the WinCATI video tour. In this segment, we'll be looking at the Sensus Questionnaire authoring application. Sensus is used to write the questions for your survey. This one application can be used to write CATI, Web, and mixed CATI-Web surveys, eliminating the need to learn separate applications for each. Here you see the main study window. All of the options and settings used to create and control your study are available on this window. Depending on what kind of study this is, either Web, CATI, or mixed CATI-Web, different groups of settings will be available to you. For this demonstration, we'll focus on creating a questionnaire for CATI. Since this is a CATI study, most of the options on this window are grayed out or unavailable. That's because this functionality is handled by the WinCATI Supervisor application for CATI studies. If this were a web-only study, we would manage the entire study from this application, and all of these options would be available. We'll cover web studies in another demonstration. For CATI studies, our main task is to create the questionnaire here in Sensus, so it can later be loaded into WinCATI. To create a new questionnaire from scratch, you could simply select the Questionnaire option under Setup and click Edit. This gives you a blank survey window using only the default settings in Sensus. However, it will be common for you to use templates as a starting point for your new questionnaires. Sensus comes with a number of templates for you to use, which you can then modify or even create completely new templates on which to base your questionnaires. To bring a template into our new study, we use the Select button and choose the study we want to use as a starting point. Once we've loaded the template, we're free to edit it without affecting the original. In the GUI mode, each screen is composed of a number of objects which you control by setting their properties. There are objects for text display, tables, and all of the various data input types like numeric or multiple choice. Here you see the intro screen for our study. This template, which I've set up ahead of time, contains the basic structure of a WinCATI survey, plus a few questions to illustrate some of the basic question types. Each object in your survey has a collection of properties you can use to control its look and behavior, which you can see at the lower left side of the screen. Notice how the list of properties change as I select either the text object or the page object. In addition to setting properties, you can control an object's size or position on the screen by simply using your mouse to drag part or all of the object using the handles that appear when the object is selected. You can create a text object like most other objects by selecting the object type from the toolbar, in this case TXT, and then dragging your mouse in the design pane to define its position and size. Here I'll create a simple question using a text object and an open-end data input object. Notice that you don't have to be precise when creating objects. You can always adjust their size or position after creating them. You don't have to type your text directly into Sensus. You can also copy and paste from other documents, and Sensus will preserve the formatting. In addition, you can copy and paste objects within Sensus. Every data input object has a name property. In addition to being used as a label for your data export, the data name property can be used as a variable in other parts of your questionnaire. You can show previous answers on the screen, use them in calculations, or base skip logic on them. You can see this open-end has a property called data name. You can leave it with the default name or change it to something more descriptive. We'll change this one to our name. You can even insert a variable into the body of a text object by surrounding the variable name with percent signs. If we had a variable called age defined in a previous question, we could show that value in the middle of the text object like this. On the next question page, we'll create a numeric and a choice object. Numeric works just like the open-end object. Just click the numeric type and put it where you want it on the page. In its list of properties, you can see that it's possible to limit the responses to a specific range by specifying a minimum and maximum value. If the respondent or interviewer tries to enter a value outside this range, they will automatically get an error message asking them to try again. To the right, we'll create a choice object. The easiest way to define the text for your answer choices is to enter them directly into the object. You could also base these choices on a predefined list, a randomized list, or even a constructed list based on previous answers given in the questionnaire. On the next screen, we have a table. They can be used to collect any of the data types in Sensus, but are especially useful for rating a number of attributes, all using the same scale. You can also randomize the order for either the rows and/or the columns. Your questionnaire can be as complex as you need it to be. You can randomize the order of questions, the order of answer choices, even the order of blocks of questions may be randomized. And there is no limit to the amount of skipping and branching you use throughout your questionnaire. Sensus makes testing your questionnaire simple. On any question, you can switch into preview mode by clicking the Preview tab at the bottom of the window. This not only lets you see how the screen will look to the interviewer, but you can also begin answering questions here and proceed through the survey to check your skipping and branching. Another useful testing feature is the skip diagram. You can use this diagram to get a bird's eye view, so to speak, of all your skipping and branching. That concludes our tour of the Sensus application. We've only touched on a small number of Sensus's capabilities. Please contact us and we'll be happy to show you all of WinCATI's features in detail.